we click here to pick a file, select the raw file, and broadcast it. Took a bit longer, I was scared for a moment, but it worked. So here's the transaction ID of the transaction, and you can even see it in the block explorer. The transaction is out there, and it needs to wait a little bit to be mined, and it needs some minutes to show up on exact pages. You can check that later. But that's it. That's our demo. And like we mentioned, we're going to keep improving it so we can use it by wallets can use it. Let's go back to the slides. Oh, I have the pre-recorded demo here in case something went wrong. And that's it. If you have any questions, we can answer them. So the first question is, the demo currently supports a few participants, but there are no upper bound to the total threshold of participants. That's a great question. Protocol-wise, the upper bound is like whatever fits into a scalar, which is an implementation detail, but it's like a 2 to the 256. It's a gigantic number that you could never reach in practice. So in practice, the limit is whatever your computer or the server is configured to support. So we can make the upper bound as large as we need. I don't think people need more than, I don't know, 1,000, 10,000, but yeah, it's basically, in practice, doesn't have any concrete limit. Next question. Go ahead.
Right. One thing I will say is that T can equal N as well, so the threshold can be the same as the number of signings and participants.
Yeah, that's a good point. The threshold could be anything between 1 and N. Next question, what will it take for the demos to be used in a production environment? So the first thing we need to finish the server. So the server doesn't have encryption, doesn't have authentication, doesn't have any account management. So we need to add that. And when we have a production-ready server, I think people can, based on the demo code that we have, they will learn how to use the server. It's a very HTTP JSON server. It's very simple to interact with. And then wallets can, inspired by the demo code, they can integrate Frost by using the server. And of course, I think it's good to mention that having a central server, if we can have multiple of them, it's not ideal. We view this like the first step to getting Frost deployed, but eventually we could work on a peer-to-peer solution to make wallets talk between themselves without having a server. This probably can has intersection. There's some proposals for Zcash to also have like some messaging mechanism in the Zcash protocol itself. So maybe that's one option to enable that. Next question, what client libraries are you currently working on? Which languages are targeting, and how can the community contribute to them? So for this server, like I mentioned, it's a JSON HTTP server. You don't actually need like a library. If you have a JSON and HTTP library, you can use it. But we might, of course, it's easier if you have something, right? Just functions that you can call without worrying about the inner details. And we can work on client libraries, but I think it's so simple that people can do their own using just HTTP and JSON. But now everything is Rust, but this could be done in any language. Next question, are you planning to expand the contents of the Frost book to include more diagrams and details of how the protocol should be implemented, use it? Yes, I think this Frost book should be like the one-stop shop for learning how Frost works and how to use our crates. But we really need feedback from people from what do they need, what they want to see in the book. Because sometimes when working on it, it's kind of hard to take a step back and realize, what's missing, what's not. So if you have feedback on that, please send to us and we can improve the Frost book. I think that's it. Let's see. Let me check if it showed up on Zach pages. Sometimes it takes a while. Yeah, it's not there yet. Sorry. Sometimes it takes some minutes to show up, but hopefully you can see some things that I do while testing, but eventually it will show up here. And I think that's it. If there's no more questions, we can wrap up. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.